Okay, this is a video for the NEC XL 3D system for the 3D-Mover. So what we're going to do first is we're going to lay out some parts. We're going to pre-assemble some things. So we need this bracket. We also need the spacer. We need the spacer in there, otherwise the box won't tilt. We're going to put this under here like this, which means this has to go on top to raise it up. And what you're going to have to do is line up the holes so the slot and the holes all line up, then you can actually screw it in to where it's going to go. So that's going to go like that. I'll just set that aside for a second while I'm getting the pieces on this. So the first thing we want to do is the two long screws and the two 90-degree brackets. We're going to pre-assemble them, just drop them in, no washers needed. We're going to use these risers. So put the riser onto the long screw. Again, no washers. And these sit on top, and we're going to sit them forward. We're going to face them forward this time. Now you do have some flexibility. We can actually, if you need the space, we can flip these around backwards. It gives you some more space out front. A little bit tighter though, so we're going to do it the easier way this time. So those two pieces are in. Now I'm just going to take two flat washers and 2/4 inch nuts. You're going to get nylock nuts. They're a little harder to put on, but I'm using these ones just because it's faster for the installation or for the demonstration. So they're in. Don't snug them down because we're still going to do some adjusting. So that looks good. Okay. Now we need to put the shorter rod onto this one. And we do that with two short screws that have just a flat washer. So I'll put that there. I'll put another short screw and flat washer there. What you want to do is put them into the T-nuts through the rail. There should be T-nuts on both sides. If you do need to make a shorter version, you might have to take the T-nuts out and put them on the same side. Just take the end cap off and do that. Okay. Again, we're not going to snug these down just yet. So we want them to be able to slide, just like that. Okay, so now we're going to put the actuator bracket in. So the actuator bracket, again, short screw to the back. Now there's a hole and a slot in this thing. So I'm going to put the hole on in first just as it's easier. You put it in the slot, it'll fall apart. So we'll do that. The bracket fits like this. The flat side has to face towards the motion side. You'll see why shortly. Okay, get that started. These T-nuts sometimes sit crooked, so you might have to wiggle them a bit to get them to take. The other thing is the T-nuts actually have a raised edge on them. And you can, I don't know if you can see that clearly, but there's a raised lip at the top of that. And what that does is that actually pushes into the aluminum rail. So when you loosen this, if you just back it out a little bit, it won't slide. You have to actually back it out and then click it down and then it'll slide. You'll see what I mean when you try to move one. That's what's going on, is they're meant just as a safety feature. So, front one. Okay, so that's going to go there and that's ready to go. This is going to sit on top of it and that's ready to go. We're going to do the same thing with our base bracket here. This one's simpler. All we're going to do is put an actuator bracket on top of it. So again, two short screws. And we are backwards. The motor of the actuator is going to be away. The lens is on this side. So the motor needs to be on the opposite side to the lens. Short screw. Okay, so that's in. So that's our pre-assembled parts. So I'm just going to sit this here for a minute. I'm going to sit this here for a minute. And now we're going to actually start the installation. So this is the mounting bracket that you would have on the projector. 3D box has obviously been removed already. This is the lens side, this is the non-lens side. So this is just to get us to demonstration. This isn't the right mount. The NECs have two legs. This is a tray for a Christie slider, so it's a little different one, but it gets the right idea. So what you want to do is you want to take these circlets out of the top two jack screws, and you want to take the circlet out of the end rod here, and you slide the end rod out. I've already done that, obviously. And then with these two out, you can just lift off the top portion of the deck and put it to the side. Okay, So now we're going to work on this section here. What we want to do is these 4 front silver screws, on those 2 there, I took 2 out, it's faster. The 4 front silver screws are going in the garbage, and we're going to replace them with 4 longer screws with flat washers. So before we do that, we need to put this in. So you just have to watch, as soon as you pick this thing up, it's going to fall off the front because the back has only got these notches, so just be prepared for that. Take your time, you'll be all right. Oops. Okay, that's one. Don't forget you're screwing into plastic, so don't be too aggressive. Needs to be snug. The other thing is these front blocks need to be tight and aligned, otherwise it won't slide nicely. So what you'll do before you tighten everything down is I just push the thing right to the side so it's hitting on the mounting block. Snug them down that way, and then they're more likely to be parallel in smooth motion. There are some extra holes in this mounting plate, so you can actually move the thing back and forth if you need a little bit more or a little bit less travel. And like I say, we can take these 2 90s, we can put them the other side, and we can put this assembly on the back side. Take it out. We can put it in the back side. It gets a little snug, it's a little tight in there, but it's a nice compact design for the front if you need the space. Okay, so that's that part on. Now we're going to put on the base rod. Take the T-nuts and align them with the slots on your Real D mount. And then we're going to come up from underneath with just a short screw and a flat washer. So. These ones you can snug down, or you can get them close to snug. So that's the hardware's on. Now we can actually put in the actuator and have a look at how things line up. So these Cauterlos clevis pins, snap it in the back end. Just go all the way to the 2D position, like this. Then what we're going to do is slide this until it mounts, like that. Put in this. Now we're going to tighten everything up. So we'll tighten these guys. Okay, and we can tighten the brackets. I can only get to 1 screw on the brackets. We're going to have to take the actuator out to do the other ones, but we'll do that after we've decided that everything's aligned properly. So that's it essentially in. That's the basic. We would now plug into our control box. We plug into our control box temporarily, just put it to the side just so we can test with it. Just plug in power, and what will happen is it should cycle through its motion, and then you can decide whether the travel's effective or not. What I'll do is I'll let it go to 3D. When it stops, just unplug it, and then you can actually do the fine tweaking, make sure it's perfect with your lens. And we hook it back up again, run it through a couple of cycles back and forth. And if we like it, then we snug everything down. The 3D box itself has 2 DB15 connectors on it. What happens is there's a DB15 that will come from the projector to the 3D system. You're just going to unplug that and plug it into one of these, and then we give you a cable to go from the other one of these straight out to the projector. This is just a parallel straight through, and all we do is we tap into them for the 3D sync. So you can hook that up fairly quickly and easily. And the other thing is we've got 2 extra T-nuts in the front. You can actually mount this sticking out the front of the machine if you've got enough space. Or you can mount the back if you want to have enough space too. Or you can just mount this someplace where it's convenient and safe. That's it.